to another fun-filled, exciting edition of Gotmark76. This week we have a great show lined up for you today, which will include the decision by the American Dream Dusty Rhodes on whether to remain the World Television Champion or one half of the U.S. Tag Team Champion. Speaking of Dusty Rhodes, he will be featured in our main event when he teams up with the Superpowers partner Nikita Koloff, and they challenge Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard for the World Tag Team Championship. But before we get there, let's start off Gotmark76 this week with what happened this week in the AWA. This week in the AWA, we saw the continual rise to top contendership for one Curt Hennig as he took on Stan the Lariat Hanson this week in the AWA. Let's head down to ringside for that big matchup.
And here we have a superstar with a big chip on his shoulder.
He has certainly felt overlooked recently.
Well, he has a chance to change that perception in this matchup.
Yeah, but he's staring at someone who's shown a lot of hustle to be in this spot. Whether he's studying tape or spending extra time at the PC, he expected this challenge and is ready for it.
Just punched him right in the mouth. Relentless.
Enough already.
Oh, he retaliates. Rolling neck snap. Oh, man. Leg breaker.
Oh, the arm taking the brunt of that.
Oh, and a snapmare. That'll get you whiplash. Stump pulling a leg snap.
That's going to hurt. Tear your hamstring. He has him right where he wants him. Up high. Diving crossbody. Throwing all caution to the wind.
He now just looks helpless to every attack.
He's just on the wrong side of every maneuver.
Rolling neck snap. He's getting a little battered now.
No need to panic. He's still swinging. Caught with a neck breaker.
Counters. This could be an opportunity. Great wherewithal on the counter.
Punch right in the head. Connecting with a sharp elbow.
Okay, he's re-entering the ring.
Now trampling the opposition. Snapmare.
And they're rolling.
He thinks he has him.
1, 2. No, he gets the shoulder up.
This is going to come down to who wants it more.
And here we go.
Suplex. Can he shut the door on this one? There's 2.
It's over. Oh, what a nice work.
Here is your winner, Mr. Perfect.
No other way to put it, guys. That was kind of a butt kicking.
An absolute statement by the victor here tonight. What a steamrolling.
So Curt Hennig moving up the rankings for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship with that impressive victory over Stan the Lariat Hanson. We'll need to keep our eyes on the rise of Curt Hennig in the AWA. We also saw a big #1 contenders match for the World Class Heavyweight title when Terry Funk did battle with Abdullah the Butcher. The winner of this match will receive a World Class World title match next week right here on Gotmark76. Here is our feature match from the AWA and World Class as Terry Funk battles Abdullah the Butcher.
What are you expecting from this superstar tonight, guys?
Well, he did say earlier that he's going to attack his opponent with a renewed hostility that we've never seen before.
Yeah, he also said he's going to make the competition beg for mercy.
Yeah, but he's staring at someone who's shown a lot of hustle to be in this spot. Whether he's studying tape or spending extra time at the PC, he expected this challenge and is ready for it.
Left by the turnbuckle. Got him right in the jaw.
Yes, what a shot.
Able to get the advantage here.
In full
control here. Face first.
He turns it around. Oh, kick right in the gut. Solid punch.
Two-handed.
He's going for the pin. Lifts up the shoulder.
Too soon for a cover.
Good timing with that reversal.
Axe handle from the middle rope.
Perhaps thinking about what to do next here.
Dropped right on their face.
Caught the leg.
Oh, elbow to the knee.
That'll hyperextend your leg. He's a projectile now. Tagging this outside. This could be good. Oh, kick connects.
Isolating the leg.
Leg breaker. This match grinded him down a little.
Taking on some offense, but he expected as much.
He was waiting for him to make his move. Two-handed choke slam.
Elbow drop.
Oh, this is pretty cocky. You like that? Yep. Can you believe this?
I love it. He's returning fire. Working on the leg. Into the ring again.
The ref's count ain't stopping.
The clock is ticking here. Heading up, he's thinking big. Clubbing blow to the back. Vicious right forearm. Oh, that'll turn your skin red.
Oh, are you kidding me? Is that a bite? Oh. You gotta be careful not to get yourself disqualified after that.
That was gross. Oh, drop. The cover. 1, 2. Barely beats the 3.
That had to have been closer to 3 than he'd like.
Was ready for that.
Overhand chop. Headbutt. Nothing fancy there.
Right to the back.
He's getting pushed out into the defensive.
There's been plenty of action in this match, and the cost of that is really showing now.
This is outright disrespectful. He is getting shredded and caught right now. Yeah, he has really hit a brick wall here.
Going for the home run. Spiked him.
This is his chance. Will he seize the moment?
Kick out at 2.
Had to dig deep to break that pin.
But can it be done again? How much is left after that?
Hey, it might be time for a change of strategy. His best move didn't get the job done.
He's got him in the crosshairs.
Going for it again.
Academic at this point.
Finally ends it. And all the bloodshed. Perhaps worth it now.
Here is your winner, Terry Funky.
You cannot say they didn't give it their all.
So right there, Terry Funk with a very impressive victory over Abdullah the Butcher. He will get that world-class title match next week right here against Kerry Von Erich. You will not want to miss that. Terry Funk going for the world-class heavyweight title, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the former WWF Superstar, gets his shot at the World Class title right here next week. Wrapping up things here in the AWA and World Class, let's go over the monthly rankings for the AWA and World Class. So as you can see, the AWA World Heavyweight Champion Jerry the King Lawler, the World Class Heavyweight Champion Kerry Von Erich, they are both the #1 contender to each's world title, and as we mentioned in the weeks prior, they've teamed up on recent occasions. There's no feud between these two men, but because they are the world champion of the promotion that these companies are working with, they are automatically the #1 contenders to each other's title. Keeping with the AWA, Stan the Lariat Hanson, after that loss to Curt Hennig, may have dropped a spot. Curt Hennig, of course, #3, Rugged Ron Garvin, #4, and rounding out the top 5 contenders for the AWA World title is America's favorite hero, Sergeant Slaughter. Over on the World Class side, of course, Kerry Von Erich, the world champion. Iceman King Parsons, the #2 contender, and Terry Funk will get that opportunity next week here on Gotmark76 this week. He's #3. Gentleman Chris Adams is #4, and rounding out the top 5, the missing link. And as we saw crowned here last week on this program, the Midnight Rockers won the vacated AWA World Tag Team Championships. The #1 contenders for them are the team that they defeated, the Nasty Boys. The #2 contenders are Matt Bourne and Buzz Sawyer. #3 is Devastation Incorporated. That could be any combination of those wrestlers. #4 is Kerry and Kevin Von Erich, the Von Erich brothers. And rounding out the top 5 for the World Tag Team Championship rankings, Bad Company, managed by Diamond Dallas Page. This week in the World Wrestling Federation saw the Intercontinental Champion Ricky the Dragon Steamboat successfully defend his title against Heenan family member Hercules. King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd continued their path of destruction, climbing up the rankings to earn a future World Tag Team title shot, as they made very short work of the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Keep your eyes on the rise of the Heenan family members King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd. And we have seen in recent weeks that Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase appear to be on a collision course with each other. They will face off against each other in less than 2 weeks' time at Saturday night's main event on May 7th. So keep our eyes peeled on that. And we also have heard news of a newcomer coming to the World Wrestling Federation. All we know is that he is being called the Beast. And that's all we have. This guy apparently is a big beast making his way to the World Wrestling Federation. We will keep our eyes on that situation as well. Without further ado, let's head to our feature match here in the World Wrestling Federation for Gotmark76 this week, as Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who will receive that Intercontinental title shot on May 7th against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, as he takes on new fan favorite, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Let's head down the ringside. And welcome to our feature match here on Wrestling Challenge, as Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff will take on the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff has a date with Destiny on May 7th at Saturday night's main event, when he challenges Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the Intercontinental title. And one man who may also want that title around his waist is the Macho Man, who fires 10 shots across the forehead of Mr. Wonderful. And now the Macho Man working the arm of Mr. Wonderful. The Macho Man has been cheered in recent weeks. He's climbing the top rope. Now the fans show their support. He leaps, and a big splash off the top. Hooks the leg. 1, and a kick out at 1 by Mr. Wonderful. This was almost a very short match, as the Macho Man with a big right hand nails Mr. Wonderful. Drops the elbow. Not off the top. And across the chest of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, another elbow, and Mr. Wonderful is in a world of trouble in the early going of this matchup, and Bobby Heenan sees it, and he's trying to get the attention of the Macho Man. The Macho Man smart and not going to Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mr. Wonderful is in a world of trouble. Up and over the top rope goes Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And now the Macho Man with a figure 4 leg lock on the outside floor. And Orndorff is in trouble. And now Orndorff slamming the back of the Macho Man into the side of the ring. That's his first offensive maneuver in this matchup. The count's up to 6, and Orndorff throws Macho Man back into the ring, and Bobby Heenan threw a chair in the ring. And a big clothesline by the Macho Man. Another clothesline ducked by Orndorff. And now Orndorff, trying to make a comeback, has Macho Man up in a belly-to-back suplex as Bobby Heenan cheers on at ringside. Mr. Wonderful wants the momentum heading into that title match against Ricky Steamboat, but the Macho Man has been on fire in recent weeks. And now Orndorff has slowed the pace of this match to his liking, and the Macho Man, well, you know, you can't kill old habits. Macho Man with a rake to the eyes throws Orndorff over the top rope, snapmare, down to the floor goes Orndorff. And again, the fans' response to the Macho Man is something I never thought I'd see. He used to be one of the most hated superstars here in the World Wrestling Federation. And now the fans are starting to love him as Orndorff, trying to make a comeback, and a big clothesline takes down the Macho Man. Nicely done on the part. And now here comes a pile driver, has Savage up. This could be it, spikes him down. Will Orndorff go into that title match next week with momentum on his side? He drags Savage to the center of the ring. Lateral press, hooks the leg, referee in position, 1, 2, and 3. And Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with a big victory over the Macho Man Randy Savage, heading in to next week's Intercontinental Title match against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on Saturday night's main event. A wonderful camera angle there, but I assure you it's the pile driver. And the Macho Man unable to kick out of that. And your winner, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Here is your winner, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
So Paul Orndorff with lots of momentum heading into his title opportunity against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in less than 2 weeks on Saturday night's main event. Of course, you can join us here live Saturday night, May 7th at 7 p.m. with a live watch-along on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. Wrapping up things here in the World Wrestling Federation, let's take a look at the April rankings for the World Wrestling Federation. As you can see, the World Heavyweight Champion Hulk Hogan's #1 contender Andre the Giant will get that huge world title match May 7th here on Saturday night's main event. The #2 contender, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, who will also be on that Saturday night's main event card when he takes on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We just saw #3 contender Macho Man Randy Savage in a losing effort against #4 contender Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And rounding out the top 5 is the current Intercontinental Champion, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The Intercontinental title rankings are as follows. Of course, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Intercontinental Champion. The #1 contender is Heenan family member Ravishing Rick Rude. The #2 contender, who we saw in action today with a big victory, is also a Heenan family member, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. He will get that shot at Saturday night's main event. #3 contender, the Big Boss Man, who we saw on our debut episode here in a losing effort when he challenged Ricky Steamboat. #4 would be Greg the Hammer Valentine, and rounding out the top 5 Intercontinental title rankings would be Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The World Wrestling Federation Tag Team rankings are all over the place, and quite frankly, the monthly rankings will not do this division justice, as the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, the Hart Foundation, have had recent non-title losses to a few teams in recent weeks, including the number 4 contenders, the Islanders. They will be defending the World Tag Team Championship against number 1 contenders Demolition on Saturday night's main event. The number 2 contenders are the British Bulldogs. The number 3 contenders are Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy, Heenan family members, keep your eyes on that, as well as the Islanders, who are also managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, and rounding out the top 5 of the World Tag Team Title rankings in the World Wrestling Federation are Brutus Beefcake and Greg Valentine, the Dream Team. This week in the NWA proved to be a very busy week, as World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair was told that he must defend the World Heavyweight title against the Total Package Lex Luger within the next 30 days, or he will be stripped of the NWA World title. That big news coming on the heels of the interference by Barry Windham as Lex Luger took on Ric Flair just last week. We will have the decision that the American Dream Dusty Rhodes has made regarding remaining the World TV Champion or one half of the U.S. Tag Team Champions, but we have heard that Ivan Koloff is in America. He is trying to reach out to Nikita, and so far, a meeting has not taken place. Earlier this week, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes had a very difficult decision to make, or was it an easy one? Let's take you back to earlier this week, when the American Dream Dusty Rhodes had a conversation with his tag team partner, the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff. He allowed the NWA camera crew to film this interaction. So Dusty Rhodes making a major announcement. He is vacating the NWA World Television title, and he is continuing his partnership as one half of the United States Tag Team Champions with his partner Nikita Koloff. And that means that on April 30th in Philadelphia, there will be a tournament to crown a new NWA World Television Champion. Stay tuned. We will have a major announcement this week when we find out the participants for that tournament very shortly. So here are the current NWA rankings. We are going to fade out the World TV title rankings, and that has now become vacant. The World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair, his number 1 contender, as we just found out, the Total Package Lex Luger. The number 2 contender is Sting, and the number 3 contender, the current U.S. Heavyweight Champion Barry Windham. And of course, Barry Windham's top contenders are number 1, the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff, number 2, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, number 3, the Dogface Gremlin Rick Steiner. Of course, we found out just now that the World TV title is now vacant. A tournament will take place on April 30th in Philadelphia at the Civic Center. That will be April 30th. That show will come to you live on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. We will make an announcement this week once that tournament has been filled. The World Tag Team Rankings, of course, we'll see them in action tonight in our main event when Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard take on the number 1 contenders, the Superpowers. The number 2 contenders are the Road Warriors. The number 3 contenders are any version of the Varsity Club. And of course, the U.S. Tag Team Rankings, the champions, the Superpowers. The number 1 contenders are the Midnight Express. The number 2 contenders, any version of the Varsity Club, and rounding out the top contenders for the U.S. Tag Team Championship, the Powers of Pain. Without further ado, and now that the announcement has been made that Nikita Koloff and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes will remain a tag team and U.S. Tag Team Champions, they will have an opportunity tonight to win the World Tag Team Championships And I'm not trying to look too far ahead, but if they were to pull off that accomplishment tonight by defeating Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, then one would imagine that they would also vacate the U.S. Tag Team Championship. So a lot of things going on here in the NWA. Without further ado, let's head to our big main event when the NWA World Tag Team Championship is on the line as the Four Horsemen defend against the Superpowers. And welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. The World Tag Team Championship is on the line as the U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Superpowers, make their way to the ring.
The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Non-Stop Wrestling Alliance World Tag Team Championship.
So Dusty Rhodes making the announcement this week that he is vacating the World TV title.
591 pounds.
And one would imagine if the Superpowers are victorious here today against Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, that those U.S. Tag Team titles that are currently around their waist will also be vacated in favor for the World Tag Team Championship. So exciting times here in the NWA. Dusty Rhodes finds himself in the middle of it. All championship contenders.
And introducing the champions at a combined weight of 529 pounds. They are the Non-Stop Wrestling Alliance World Tag Team Champions, the Four Horsemen.
The NWA non-stop here on Gotmark76. As Tully and Arn making their way to the ring, they are not rushing to the ring by any means. They know what they had to face. These four men, no strangers to each other. But conspicuous by his absence is one James J. Dillon. I'm curious why the Horsemen would not want their manager and mentor in their corner. But that is what we're fighting for, the NWA World Tag Team Championship. As the introductions, of course, were made. And one has to wonder how Nikita Koloff is going to fare in this matchup. Just speaking realistically here, his tag team partner gave up a singles opportunity. The World TV Champion is usually a top contender to the World Heavyweight Championship. It's every wrestler's dream to be the World Heavyweight Champion. And Dusty Rhodes vacated the World TV title because he thought that he and Nikita had a shot at winning the World Tag Team Championship, which they do right here. And Dusty makes a tag, and here comes Nikita. And Arn Anderson with a double axe handle off the top rope. But you think that has to weigh on the mind of Nikita Koloff. His tag team partner gave up a singles championship to remain a team, and Nikita doesn't want to let down the American dream. He wants to not only remain U.S. Tag Team Champion, but also become a World Tag Team Champion. And then you throw in this wrench. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but Ivan Koloff has returned. He is trying to mend fences with Nikita. Now, obviously they are family and blood is always thicker than water, and hopefully they can mend their issues. But I've known Ivan Koloff a very long time. Is Ivan Koloff going to agree with Nikita and take the side of Nikita to try and make up? Or is he going to try and convince Nikita that Ivan is correct all along? Ivan said, that the American dream cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's Dusty Rhodes. And I had to say that the decision that Dusty Rhodes made earlier this week is that he doesn't just care about himself. It would have been much easier for him to remain a top contender to the World Heavyweight Championship, but he decided to stay in a tag team. So I feel that this whole thing is weighing heavily on Nikita, whether rightful or not. Nikita's just the kind of person that doesn't, he's he's very prideful. Let's just say that. And I know that he's coming into this match wanting to win the World Tag Team Championship, but right now, Dusty Rhodes in trouble as Arn with a high knee lift on Nikita on the outside. And now the Horsemen double teaming the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And the World Tag Team Champions showing why they are the #1 team here in the NWA. Of course, all the gold here in the NWA, the world titles and the US title around the waist of the Four Horsemen. A dominant group if I've ever seen one. As Blanchard with a series of uppercut forearms. And now an overhead, beautiful belly-to-belly suplex takes over the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And the Four Horsemen looking like they're going to retain. And that's another question. Could this whole TV title and US Tag Team title situation distract the Superpowers? I think it's too early to tell, but things are looking like it could. And Blanchard spikes down the American Dream with a pile driver. Will the champions retain? Tully does not go for the... Now he does. He goes for the cover. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, and 3. No! Broken up. No, the American Dream kicked out. I thought Nikita may have broken that up. But Dusty Rhodes somehow kicked out. And the Superpowers are still alive for the World Tag Team Championship. Only the World Tag Team titles on the line here. The US Tag Team titles are not. And there's a tag. And some double team work on the part of the Superpowers. But Nikita finds himself in trouble after coming in. That's a little concerning. As Blanchard misses with a clothesline, now Nikita. The back body drop, now goes for the cover. Well, we have new champions 1 and a kick out at 1 by Tully Blanchard. Nikita with a big headbutt. And Anderson saw his partner in trouble and came to the aid. And now the Horsemen double teaming Nikita again. Blanchard goes for the cover on top. Nikita kicks out at 1. The fans are on their feet. They realized they could see new World Tag Team Champions. And Tully now putting up Nikita on the top turnbuckle. And Nikita fights his way out. I think Blanchard may have been setting up for a superplex, but Nikita saw it coming. Now throws Blanchard across the ring. And now Nikita working the leg of Tully. A smart move on the part of the Russian Nightmare. A Greco-Roman rake of the eyes sends Tully Black back into the corner. And a big hip toss out of the corner. And now Nikita and the Superpowers back in control. Nikita throws Tully into the turnbuckle. Oh, I thought they were going to make a tag and we were going to see some double team. Oh, Dusty does tag. Nikita didn't see that. Nikita's in the corner. Dusty with a, what we'll call a blind tag. And a shoulder block by Tully takes down the American Dream. As Tully goes over, he's going to try and make a tag to Arn. No, he's going to climb the top rope. Sees that Dusty was coming and makes the tag. Here comes the enforcer, Arn Anderson. A big clothesline by Double A takes down the American Dream. And now Anderson stomping and working the leg. A knee drop to the face. I think Dusty's been busted open. He has. Goes for the cover. And the American Dream has been busted open here. The Superpowers have come close to winning the World Tag Team Championship here in Dusty Rhodes with a series. Here comes the jives, the big jabs, the shuffle, and the big right hand takes down the enforcer. Goes for the cover, new champions 1, and broken up by Tully. All the momentum here is on the side of the Superpowers. Will we have new World Tag Team Champions? Russian leg sweep by the American Dream. Dusty going back into Anderson. Anderson's going to the outside. And what is Anderson doing? He's looking under the ring, has a steel chair in the ring. Just when the momentum favored the Superpowers, and Arn Anderson just got himself disqualified. The Horsemen have lost the match, but they will remain World Tag Team Champions. Anderson and Tully Blanchard reverting to underhanded tactics to remain the World Tag Team Champions. And the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff, well, let's call it what it was. They got screwed out of the World Tag Team titles. I'm sure we have not seen the end between these two teams. Wow, what an exciting week here on Gotmark76, especially here in the NWA. We will have more information this week about the tournament that will take place next Saturday in Philadelphia for the World TV title. You will not want to miss that. Next week here on the program, we have a big main event in preparation for the big world title match May 7th on Saturday night's main event. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant will be in the ring against each other when Hulk Hogan teams with Hillbilly Jim to take on Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy. That is our big main event next week. We will also see the featured NWA match as the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, do battle against the Powers of Pain in a Tornado Tag Team match. And of course, our big feature match from the AWA and World Class. The World Class Heavyweight Championship is on the line when Kerry Von Erich defends against Terry Funk. We thank you so much for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button. Give Gotmark76 this week a chance. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.